Today, if we look at our agenda, we're going to basically go through our reports and presentations. We will be introducing our facilitators at this time to begin that process. And we broke up into sessions yesterday, and we had specific tasks. So I kind of floated around yesterday and went through the different rooms, and it was really good to see all the discussions that were happening and all the people that were getting involved in that. This is, I believe, an important process or part that we need to, as we try to listen to what the people are saying. And today we're going to kind of go through that and see what was said yesterday, what are some of the groups thinking, and we wanted to keep them within their focus groups. So we had the administrators as a group, we had the leadership as a group, and I'm glad to see that they did go with the live streaming, so it gave an opportunity for the people who couldn't be here and watching online to be able to see that process. After we have a break, we're going to go to the resolutions if there are any. And so I believe we're basically set up to be able to do that if the chiefs wanted to proceed with some kind of forms or motions or resolutions. Then after we're done, depending on how long that takes, we will be having some closing remarks. I've invited Dr. Sharon Friesen, the Vice Dean of Workland School of Education, University of Calgary, to kind of float, take notes, be a part of what we're doing, and to kind of come up with, to answer our question, are we on the right track? Is what we're doing, from an academic, from an outsider, what are your perspectives on this whole process and kind of sense of where are we going? Are we on the right track? So so she'll be closing off with some of those remarks for us, and then we'll turn it back to Grand Chief Steve Coudray for his closing remarks and any chiefs who would like to give them at that time. So when we come back after break, it's going to basically be the chiefs' session, and we'll see where it goes from there. So without any further ado, I'll introduce the WMC. If they could come up to the front. They didn't get a chance yesterday to formally introduce this group and what they're doing for us. We've got a couple contracts with this company, and we decided this time to go with a team of people as we start looking at. One is they're going to be doing a quality control. They're evaluating how is Treaty 8 providing its services, what services are the organization education providing, and how are we doing. So they're basically going to evaluate our process. So I'd like to, I guess you're going to stand out there, or?
Just waiting for you to talk.
So we have Karen Watson, who, I'm not sure if she's the boss, I think she's the boss of the group, but they work collectively, and their task yesterday was to facilitate the process, try to draw out some of those questions in terms of what does a Treaty 8 education system look like. And their task today is to compile all that. In the end, we hope to identify some action items, and through that, develop a strategic plan in terms of how can we roll that out. So Karen, Yusha, I don't even try to attempt her last name, and Bob, right? So they're going to kind of go through the process with us, and I guess yesterday we selected spokespeople, if they can be on standby, because you will be presenting shortly. Karen?
Good morning. I want to thank everybody for the opportunity. Can you hear me okay?
Hello.
There we go. Sorry. I'd like to thank everybody for the opportunity to be here. Our team is, we're honored and excited about the additional work that comes along with this. but we did a little debrief yesterday after all of the sessions, and Bob, Usha, Ruby Littlechild, who's not here, and another one of our consultants, were all very moved and overwhelmed with the content that was gathered, and also just the participation. In every of the breakout sessions, everyone was engaged, everyone was enthusiastic. They were honored to have the opportunity to participate, to have their voices heard, and we were just very pleased that we could help to facilitate that. So the process that we followed during the breakout sessions was, Dale made it very clear to us that our role was to support, and we were happy to do that. And although we went in with a very sort of structured facilitation process, we ended up just going with the flow, just being dynamic and working with whatever our session leads wanted. The outcome, though, are a list of action items, concerns, questions, various types of outputs that each of the breakout groups would like to share with you, and we're going to give them the opportunity to do that. Each of the breakout sessions has a spokesperson, and we'll be calling them up in the next little while for them to present their input. I think that's all I wanted to say, but I'm just going to defer to my team, because we are very collaborative, and there is no one boss, so to speak. So anything you'd like to add? Dale, what would you like us to do at this point? Would you like us just to read through the breakout sessions and have those individuals come up now? Okay. Does that work?
Yeah.
Okay. May I borrow your second page, please?
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And just for the session leads, just so you know in advance, we're just going to follow the order that's laid out in day 2 of the agenda. And if there's anybody that has any PowerPoints or external drives, anything like that that they'd like to display, perhaps I would ask you just to maybe give it to Gollum or one of the ladies here, and just to make sure it's set up for you, and you can just begin your session. So, the first breakout group is the Chiefs in Education Portfolio, and the spokesperson for that is Chief Lab. Okay, great. So may I turn the mic over to you?
Okay. Tamskat na iksip kumanos. Wawi saya ihtiya. Iwihtinota ya Bixwasia Astiuchi. Yeah, good morning. And special acknowledgement to the elders for being able to be here and giving us their support. Before I start on the key points and priorities from the Chiefs Breakout Group, I'd just like to remember an elder. I'm just going to say this in Cree first, and I'll translate. But this is just a further acknowledgement to elders, especially the ones who have left us, all the ones who have left us. So and I had the opportunity to speak to a lot of the elders in various interviews. And I remember going out to Sucker Creek and to visit the late elder Joe Willier, who was 95 at the time. And he made sure that before I left his house that there were 2 things he wanted me to pass on to future generations. The first one was we were talking about our land and revenue sharing, and I'm just going to switch the Cree for a bit here. Gusto kanto gihuko kay Joe Willier, spin na guantik gusto kamas namin gusto sa instamay treaty number 8 said good na gusto to big school na commissioner 미과초 마야 이가 이기팜 나마스웨 소니아모 사스타 와스삭 미과초 기와 소니아오 디스팜 나마스웨 마츠가 뺐다 그팜 나마나 오그마 나코 팜 나마 오나 소니아모 isko tahi spike taps ko saya iso pigi tahi ba kiwa sonamo pam na asunawa igust pi CQT ko commissioner to wa sasta wa pa kiap sa tuwa mo awas sa gitim go ya mismo sonyam na mi go na to so what he was saying was on revenue sharing was the commissioner at the time during the signing of Treaty Number 8 in 1899 said to all the people that were there, said, right now, he said, you don't have the capability. You're like a child in being able to handle your own money. So until you're like an adult and can handle your own money, we will handle your money for you. The government will handle your money for you, is what the commissioner said. And then the elder sort of laughed a bit, and he said, I guess they still think that we're children, because they still haven't given us our money back for us to handle for ourselves. So that's just a thought for the day, because I think that's where we need to go next, is being able to handle our own money from all the revenue that comes off our land. We don't have to be paupers anymore in our own land and put up with substandard housing, lack of education, and so on. So, and those are just my thoughts for today. Thanks. So, anyway, so the key discussion points from yesterday, thanks to Bob for facilitating. First one is curriculum for our students must be culturally authentic and legitimate. It must be designed by us, not imposed upon us. It must reflect and instill a deep understanding and experience of our values, languages, culture, way of life, traditional knowledge, and ways of knowing. Traditional ways of knowing. Next point, education must not only enable our youth to understand and identify with themselves in our communities. Education must also equip our youth to fulfill their dreams to succeed in the modern world on their own terms as Indian people. Third one, viable and stable band-operated schools which can provide the quality of education that our children need on a sustainable basis must be the key part of our educational system. Next one, we must respect the autonomy and authority of the individual First Nations. However, we can only achieve our ambitions for our educational system by working together. For example, by using our collective strength effectively in dealing with other orders of government. The other one, there are many successful educational strategies and models that we can study and adapt for our needs, and we must learn we have much to learn from one another. Legislative recognition of First Nations jurisdiction over education is a high priority, as it is a statutory commitment to adequate funding from pre-school to post-secondary education. And second last one, we have been talking about our education intensively for 12 years, but we are not satisfied with our rate of progress. Now is the opportunity to move quickly and decisively, and we need a plan to do this. And finally, we should pass a motion to mandate Treaty 8 organization to coordinate and support the advancement of our agenda for the future of education, consistent with our guiding principles. Okay? So, and that's all. And just one more last word. that was given to me, the second one that was given to me from the late Elder Joe Willier. And his message was, it will get the crispy. Kiawa umunigani hogegwa. Hogegwa kiawa tiniganista mego maya. Kakiak bayo te soniam no kiano pamnaya to. And what Elder Joe Willier said was for me to pass on the message to you at that time. He said, you have to encourage the leadership because they have the intelligence to be able to for us to be able to handle our own revenue for our own use. So with that, it's always good to remember elders' words, and I know we all do that, and that's what drives us. Okay, thank you very much.